Hello and welcome back to Suspended Information. I am your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Krypton, Season 2, Episode 6, in Zod We Trust. It seems like only a couple of minutes ago that I was talking to you guys, which it was. It wasn't too long ago. and yeah, it's been fun here today. Yeah, I just did iZombie, by the way, just beforehand. Again, this is the catch up for Comic-Con, the week of Comic-Con. I don't expect there to be too many people, but maybe people will watch later on. So let me get some business out of the way first. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You can hit the dislike button. I just ask you to go down in the comment section. Tell me what it is you don't like about the show. Give me some constructive criticism, some feedback, if you will. If you want to know when I'm going to be on next, again, you can hit the bell as well. Don't hit the bell if you already hit it before. It will unclick it. You can go into the bell settings and get as many or as little notifications as you want. You can also go to my webpage, suspendedfanimation.com, and that's where my schedule is up there. It's also mirrored on my Facebook page for Suspended Fanimation. I have a Twitter. I have an Instagram. I also have a Patreon page. I don't have any tiers set up at the moment. And if you're still going to be on the fence about joining up, subscribing, at the very end of the video, you're going to see a video pop up here that's going to take one of the videos from my vast video library and play it just for you. It's actually going to look at your algorithms and pick which one is best for you and pluck it out of there and put it right there. And up here is going to be probably iZombie right up there. There we go. So before we start, excuse me. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the crap out of the episode. If you haven't seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. Hey, Joe. How's it going? It seems like it was just a couple of minutes ago. So let's get started on this. We leave off pretty much, we start off exactly where we left off last episode, which everyone on Krypton in shock over watching Jax having just killed Lyta by slitting her throat. And on Krypton, they keep looping it over and over and over again. They keep playing it. Seg walks away in a daze. He breaks down and starts crying. Zod seems concerned, but then he gets word from one of his flunkies that they found Doomsday out in the Outlands, and he wants to know why the people are still watching replays of his mother's execution if they already have control, if they've regained control from the rebels. And the flunkey's like, I don't know. And Zod opens up the window that he's standing in front of and goes, why don't you go and find out, and pushes the guy out the window to his death. Yes, no Tiny Lobo this episode. So everyone on Wexlor, at the meantime, is in shock too. They are kind of looking at Jax like, what the fuck did you just do? And Jax tries to get the rebels together and saying, you know what, we need to take the space elevator once and for all. Zod's going to be sending his troops up here. We need to stop it. He tells Arame to get a strike force together so they can go and take it and hold it. And then yeah, it's just kind of mystifying that she's still kind of going with this at this point. And Val puts a stop. He's like, whoa, hang on a sec. Val's like, you know what? He tells Jax that what she did, that action destroyed any chance of peace that they had. And Jax says the people saw Zod's duplicitous nature and his unwillingness to save even his own mother, and that basically he was not going to help them at all. If he can't help his own mother, he's not going to help them either. He's that kind of person. And Val says, you know what, they won't be able to win the war without the support of the people, and she just destroyed any chance of that happening, and he wants no part of it. And then he tells the people around him, he goes, you know what, he goes, if you're going to follow her, he goes, I'm out. And all the people are, start saying, I'm with Val, I'm with Val, I'm with Val. Did I say Todd? I meant Zod if I said Todd. Kneel before Todd, which is a great line in a Supernatural episode, by the way. So, yeah, and so everyone's saying that they were with Val, And Jax goes to pull out her gun, and she gets surrounded by guns. And we have the exact opposite of what happened just a little while ago with, Jax taking over things from Val at this point. So yeah, and she's pretty much screwed at this point too. So Nyssa, in the meantime, is on the way back to Kandor with the Codex, and she calls up Zod, telling him, "Hey, by the way, I've got the Codex. I'm bringing it to you because I want my son back." And he's like, "I don't know. That's not right." And she goes, "Hey, the deal was for, my son for the Codex. I'm bringing it to you." And Zod says, "Circumstances have changed." He goes, "Well, you know what? I can just destroy this thing right here and now." And he's like, "You're going to doom us all just for your son?" She goes, Yeah, I will." And he's like, "All right, I give you my word." And she goes, "I don't trust your word." She goes, "But I'm coming anyway. I'm coming here with the Codex." I did a lot of things, Joe. Even those special French things. Seg and Jaina and Dev, in the meantime, are hiding out someplace on Kandor, and Dev is looking for a best way out of Kandor at this point. So Jaina, I said Jane, I meant Jaina. Jaina blames Val, and of course Seg sticks up for Val and says, "Hey, you know what? If he could have stopped it, he would have. But something happened. He obviously was not able to stop it." And then he tells them that Zod reconditioned Lyta. And Dev realizes now that he knows exactly when it happened. He said, "You know what? They were growing closer, growing closer." This is, of course, after they thought that Jaina was dead and that Seg had disappeared, all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, she became really loyal to Zod. All of a sudden, is what he said. And he goes, "And I didn't." He goes, I basically gave up on her," is what he said. "And I walked away from it because I thought that was something that she wanted to do." So he says, "Yeah, that's exactly when it happened." He goes, "Now I know why." And Brainiac, in the meantime, starts fucking with Seg, decides to pop out and says that grief is irrational since death is inevitable, is what he says. And Seg turns around to yell at him to shut up, and then turns it around and says, "You know what? They shouldn't blame themselves. That this is all Zod's fault. Not their fault, but Zod's fault. And they need to, get rid of him at this point." So just then, Dev starts hearing about Nyssa over the comm channels, and that Zod sent a squad to go pick up her and a package that she's bringing. And Nyssa has been deemed surplus to requirements, as they say. I don't know exactly what that means, but it doesn't sound good. It just kind of means that she might be just expendable. Yeah. So Val puts Jax and Arame, there we go, in jail, in a cell. Basically in holding is what they do. They don't even put her in a cell. They just kind of put her in an area and put an armed guard on her. One armed guard, which was kind of silly, considering that she has an eye laser and took out a fucking group of Sagittari. I don't understand. Pluck out that damn eye thing too, man, while you're at it. If you know that she can take out the Sagittari, an entire troop of Sagittari with that eye, that's the first thing you want to take out of there. So Zod calls telling Val that they'll deliver Jax. He wants Jax delivered to him. Otherwise, he's going to destroy all of Wexlor. And Val's like, "I don't know if I can do that." And he goes, No, you don't understand. I'm going to kill every one of you motherfuckers unless I get her." And Val's like, "Okay." Jax has been removed from power, and she's going to answer for what she did. And Zod really doesn't care. He's like, "You know what? You got an hour. You got to deliver her within the hour." And by the way, this becomes Zod's. I think that's the only time frame that he's got, because he asks everybody. He tells everyone they only have an hour to do it, which is kind of funny. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but I'll get to that in a little bit here too. So the guards taking Nyssa, they're taking her through these really weird alleyways, and there's just two guards and her, and they go, "You know what? I think we should just take the codex from her and bring it to Zod. Where do you think she's got it? Maybe she's hidden it inside one of the inside pockets." And as they go to reach for her, she stabs them. She kills them. She kills two Sagittari guards and makes a run for it because she sees two other Sagittari behind her. Who does she run into but Seg? And she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then the Sagittari come by, and it happens to be Jaina and Dev. Yeah. Val, Adam, and Kem are kind of weighing their options of what to do. And Kem's like, you know what? Just hand her over to Zod, man. I've seen enough death. I don't want to see any more death going on here. I've caused enough death too of what I've had to do. And Adam's like, do you think he's going to stop with just her? He's going to keep killing us. We can't do it. And that's when Val's like, you know what? Yes, that's right. Zod is going to keep killing people, but I think our best plan of action is to hand her over to Zod because that'll buy us a little more time. Wow, that was kind of, Hey, Joshua. Zod ends up checking in on the progress. He goes down to the science guild to check in the progress on his weapon that he's got manufactured going on. And all they need is the codex. And then the weapon needs to be ready within an hour is what he says of getting the codex. That's what he tells the head scientist. He goes, you know what? When we get the codex, you need to make that weapon ready within an hour. Again, within an hour is what he says. And she's like, okay, I don't know if it'll work, but sure, we'll do it. We'll do it. It's your connection, Mr. Roboto. It is your connection. So, where was I here? Jax and Arame, in the meantime, are in jail, and Jax says, she stopped Black Zero because she had to, not because she wanted to. And she takes out one of Arame's hairpins, cuts open her arm, pulls out her comm link, and says, keep a eye on the guard while I'm doing this. My other eye is on this thing anyway. Yeah. Meantime, Nissa shows up with the so basically Seg and Jaina and Dev are talking with Nissa about what they need to do to get the codex in. And Nissa says, you know what, Zod wants the codex really badly, but Val actually put a failsafe into it that if it's ever going to be weaponized, it'll shut down the system completely. And Seg says, you know what, the best thing to do is to let her go and bring the codex to him. And they think he's crazy. He goes, no, I got a plan. Don't worry about it. So Nissa shows up with the codex and wants Corvex and tells him that the codex is locked by her voice alone. And that, of course, she's not going to unlock it until she gets Corvex. So Zod, offers Nissa a job working with him to crush the rebellion, and of course later governing over one of Krypton's colonies. She goes, Krypton doesn't have any colonies. He goes, no, not yet, but we will. That's where we're going here with all of this. There is no mention of Daxamites. So she hands over the codex, he hands over Corvex, and then she removes the she has a voice code in order to remove that, and she's standing by the window. She opens up the window and jumps out into a waiting skiff that's being piloted by Seg, which Zod ends up grabbing a gun and taking a shot at. And they fly away. That was the whole big thing. So Val, Adam, and Kem find out that Jax and Arame have escaped, of course, and using her subdermal transmitter. And they've taken some gravity bombs too, and Val knows exactly where she's going, so they all go to go find her. Seg and Nissa, in the meantime, head out to the Outlands when the skiff starts to lose power. And Brainiac is sitting in the back seat, basically, kind of, he's being a backseat driver to Seg, telling him that he's going to lose power in 17 seconds, and it's going to be a really horrific crash, unless he lets him take over for a little bit and do some stuff. So he does, and we see at super speed that Seg rewires the life support in order to repower the system and gets the skiff moving again to where they need to go to. Zod, in the meantime, hands over the codex to the science lab and again gives them 1 hour. He goes, you've got an hour. Get my shit done in an hour. I mean, you think he's at like Kinko's or something like that and tells them, yeah, I want this gun done in an hour. Seg and Nissa, in the meantime, make it over to Jaina and Dev's Outland. The Outlands hideout, as I call it, or the Honeycomb hideout. Adam, in the meantime, is trying to convince Kim and Val that Jax really likes him and is into him, if you know what he means. And Val's like, yeah, she's not. She wants to kill you, pretty much. She wants to kill anybody. And just as they're talking about that, who comes out but Jax and Arame blasting at them? They kill Arame and have Jax under, the gun there. she's at a disadvantage, of course, and she gives up. So Val tells her about Zod's demands, and she tells Val that he's never had to make any tough decisions, that she's the one that's always had to make the tough decisions. He's just benefited from whatever she's decided. And he agrees with her. He's like, yeah, I have, pretty much. So she hands him the detonator and tells him it'll activate the gravity bombs, destroying the space elevator base and cutting off Zod's forces, but it'll also cut off any supplies coming to Wexlor and doom everyone that's on Wexlor. Kim, of course, is against destroying the elevator, and Jax asks if they've, found any of the Sagittari that are hiding out on Wexlor still, which of course they haven't. And she says, if you're not going to be, if you want to fight a war on two fronts, that's the way to do it, is to keep doing what you're doing right now. Otherwise, you destroy the damn space elevator, and yes, you're going to doom the people on Wexlor, but you're going to save the people on Krypton. And that's the way you do it. You have to make a sacrifice. Nyssa, in the meantime, gives her condolences to Jaina, and Jaina says that whatever they do won't bring Lyta back at this point. She's already spiraling back down in depression. Zod, in the meantime, tells Val he's called them up and says that he'll kill Jax quick, but the rest of the rebels will have to pay too for what they've done, and Val has to come back to work for him in the Science Guild, and that's the deal. And Val's like, fuck you, you're delusional, is what he says. And he blows up the space elevator station. He, hits the button on the detonator, and we see the space elevator go away from the planet of Wexlor, the moon of Wexlor, I should say. And they're basically screwed at this point. Val lets Jax go, and he says, you know what? Your time with the rebellion's over with. I don't care what you do, just don't come back, is what he says. You're not welcome here anymore. Yeah. In the meantime, Zod checks in to see how his weapon's going, because you know what? He said an hour, but he's back. He's like that annoying customer that you tell him an hour that your glasses are going to be ready in an hour, and he comes back every fucking 15 minutes. Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? No, it's not ready, but yeah, it is ready this time. And the scientist tells him that, the codex was corrupted even further than we thought it was, and it may not work right. There's no guarantee that it will work. And they also extracted the DNA that he wanted to have put into it, whatever that meant. And he says he's going to take it out in the field and test it. So he grabs it and takes off with it. In the meantime, Dev crawls into bed with Jaina as she's, mourning in that, and says that wherever they go, they're going to go together. Seg, in the meantime, is standing outside talking to Brainiac. He's standing outside in the Outlands snowstorm, and Brainiac is basically telling him, he goes, you know what? He goes, you're getting smarter and smarter now, but you have to realize that you're never going to beat Zod. Zod is a military genius. You are not. And you're never going to defeat him unless you get help from me. And he says, what you're going to do is you're going to take me over to my ship, download me into it. I will set you up with some, the ways to defeat Zod. And he goes, and then I'll leave. And Seg's like, yeah, really, I don't think that's going to happen. And Brainiac's like, no, I give you my word. I'm going to leave. Which we all know that's not going to happen. So Seg tells Nyssa about being infected by Brainiac and that they need to leave. In the meantime, Zod is out in the Outlands, and he's hunting with his gigantic gun that he's got. And who is he hunting? But Doomsday. And he finds Doomsday out there, and he aims the gun at him, and that's where we end the episode. So, yeah. I mean, again, some stuff happened, but not a lot of things. The Codex, the Allspark, the Omnitrix, the MacGuffin, all the same. Yes. And Krypton does have hairpins. Yes, it does. Yeah, what do we have here? I'm just looking to see what you guys are saying. Joshua Marcasano, I'm back from vacation. I missed quite a bit. Is the show still decent? It's at the same level. It's not going anywhere. I miss Game of Thrones. Season 8 was bad. The Church of Zod. There is a great website, and I'm blanking on the name right now. I think if you just type in Kneel Before Zod, you'll find it, and it's somebody, it's people asking Zod questions, and of course Zod answering back. It's always this pretty much the same thing. It's like, kneel before Zod. Why would you say this to me? Why, all these different things. It's pretty damn funny. See you, Mr. Roboto. So this episode wasn't great. We didn't have quite honestly, I'm finding the stuff with Brainiac to be the best stuff out of the series. And Zod, to tell you the truth. Anything that actually has a lot more Zod to it and Brainiac, that's actually good stuff. The rest of the characters, I'm not really caring about, to tell you the truth. Light is dead, and we're like, yeah, all right. I mean, quite honestly, you could kill off Nissa too, and it's like, yeah, all right. Jaina, Dev, Kem, yeah, pretty much. I don't know what's going on. It's not really fantastic. But yeah, maybe they need to do something. I understand it's budgetary constraints. They are working with the NBC budget. Yes, I know it's SyFy, but it's NBC Universal that owns them. And Doomsday does not belong. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things does not quite belong. Exactly. And that is Doomsday. You're correct, sir. Lobo doesn't belong either, because Lobo is 200 years too early in this series. 250 years, something like that. But yeah, he's way too early. I don't know. They need to do something. I would have rather have seen, like I said, the last days of Krypton, that kind of stuff. But they're not going to do any of that. I mean, there was a whole series of comics about Krypton, about older Krypton, and they could have done any of that. See you, Joshua. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be Krypton as well. So I'll warn you guys right now. I'm back to my regular schedule, except for I'm adding the boys on Saturday. But there we go. Not fantastic, but not great either. Yeah. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. This is going to be a short one today. You guys, thank you all for joining me in the chat today, and also for doing the double header of iZombie and Krypton. Yes, I'm looking forward to the boys as well, Apple Crow. Man, you changed your name back to Apple Crow. Huh. All right. And so tomorrow is going to be Krypton. Thursday is iZombie. Friday is Swamp Thing. We're in the home stretch here for the last couple episodes of Swamp Thing. Scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. And Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off. And then in the afternoon is going to be the boys. Sunday I'm off. Monday we're back to Legion again as well. So there we go. Thank you, everybody. Take a look at the schedule. If you're on the fence about joining up, take a look. There's going to be a video up here. You can hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and also hit the little bell in order to see when I'm going to be on again next. You may not get a notification because that is the way YouTube kind of rolls. They roll the dice on that one. Don't like giving notifications out in time. So with that said, thank you everyone in the chat who joined. Thank you if you made it all the way through this video. And I will see you tomorrow for Krypton as well. Thank you, everybody. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that your skiff has gotten hit by a plasma blast and is going to go down in 17 seconds in a horrific crash because Brainiac told you, because he's living inside of you. Good night, everybody. Thanks.